It's not 6 as yet. And people who know me, we start all our programs bang on time. So thank you so much. Welcome to the opening ceremony of the 5th Film Preservation and Restoration Workshop India. Thank you all for being there. And thank you, sir, for all the great masters who have come today. Raghavendra Rao ji, Shyam Benegal Sahab, Chiranjeevi, Rajamouli Sahab, Nagarjuna ji, and everybody. I mean, I can't thank Suresh Babu ji, Allu Arvind ji, Ramesh ji, who's like, I treat him like my grandfather. And without Dr. Subramanian Reddy ji, we would not have had the gracious thing of the hospitality which he has bestowed on us. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, our chief guest, the Honorable Minister, Mr. K.T. Ramarao, could not be here. Mr. Jayesh Ranjan is going to be here very shortly. But I want to welcome, specifically, start with Dr. T. Subramanian Reddy ji, Member of Parliament, and Shri Shyam Benegal ji, who's a filmmaker and an advisor to the Film Heritage Foundation. Shri Raghavendra Rao ji, great filmmaker whom I respect. And of course, the mega superstar, Chiranjeevi ji, who I've grown up watching his films, and I'm really humbled that you are here, sir. I can't keep thanking you again and again, sir. We have with us Mr. Rajamouli. Thank you for making Bahubali. I cannot tell you that changed the face of filmmaking. And of course, some of the biggest producers. I said Telugu cinema has got the biggest producers, from Ramesh Prasad ji, Suresh Babu ji, Allu Arvind ji, and now of course my friend Shobhu. And we're missing Jayesh Ranjan ji. A very warm welcome to David Walsh, our training and outreach program. David, you're sitting very far away. And the entire faculty, which have come from all different parts of the world. Thank you so much for all of you being here. Special welcome to Deepika Sorabji. Sorry, Amla ji, I forgot to mention your name. Please, I'm really humbly sorry about that, Sorry about that. Special welcome to our supporters, Deepika Sorabji. She's the Heads of Arts and Culture, Tata Trust. Bhavna Saluja, Head of Marketing, Digital Media, Adobe. Neil Raheja was supposed to be here. Unfortunately, he's not here. And we are missing Sudhanshu Watts, Group CEO of Viacom 18. But also welcome my friend P.S. Vinod, Shri Madhu Ambarji, Supriya, Shalini Sharma, and Swapna, Thomas Cherian, and Nitin Pereira, and all the members of family who come here to support this course. But before I start, I cannot but start from a video sent by our brand ambassador, someone who's a legend, Shri Amitabh Bachchan, who specially recorded this video for this occasion. Please have a look.
May I extend a very warm welcome to our chief guest, the Honorable Minister of the Government of Telangana, Shri K.T. Ramarao ji, and all my friends from the Telugu film industry who have taken out the time to be here today in a show of support to our cause to save our film heritage. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we open the 5th Film Preservation and Restoration Workshop India 2019, a training program that Film Heritage Foundation has been conducting since the year 2015. As the brand ambassador for Film Heritage Foundation, this is an initiative that is close to my heart. I regret deeply that I could not join you in Hyderabad today for the opening ceremony, but I can assure you that I'm with all of you there in spirit. I would like to thank my friends Nagarjun and Amla, who have so generously offered the premises of Annapurna Studios to enable us to conduct the workshop in Hyderabad, and to the Telangana government, who have come forward to support this initiative, especially Jayesh Ranjan ji, the Principal Secretary Government of Telangana, who's gone out of his way to help the foundation make this event happen. We had an overwhelming response to our call for applications this year. We would like to welcome the 81 participants from India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, and especially the archivists from Afghanistan who have heroically saved their films. We have great expectations of each one of you, that you will take the knowledge you will gain this week and use it to safeguard the future of films. A very special welcome to our international faculty who have flown in from all over the world and taken a week out of their lives to teach us how to build a future for our film heritage. I am really very proud to be associated with this workshop that is now recognized as the best training model in the world. I've seen it grow every year to cover every aspect of film preservation, including archive management, film repair, digital preservation, and data management, cataloging, photo, and paper conservation. We've had a great impact in just 5 years, having introduced over 250 individuals to the best practices of film preservation and put the cause on the map in our part of the world. Hyderabad was an obvious choice for our 5th workshop. This is a city that has cinema in its blood, with a film lineage that can be traced back to early pioneers of Indian cinema. This is a heritage that must be preserved. But we've not forgotten that we continue to produce the largest number of films in the world, mostly on the digital format these days. And this workshop has answers for our contemporary filmmakers too, with regard to preservation in the digital domain. I'm so very pleased that Shri K.T. Ramarao is here with us this evening, as we know how important it is for the government to support this cause. I would urge the Honorable Minister to consider building a film archive in Hyderabad to preserve both the films that came before as well as the films you continue to make. We at Film Heritage Foundation are willing to help in any way that we possibly can. We have devoted 5 years to creating awareness about the endangered status of our moving image heritage, that these traveling schools that have reached out to every part of the country, but now we are ready to consolidate and we need your help. Our vision is to build the country's first world-class center of the moving image, devoted to the art and culture of film that will not only preserve the glorious film history of India, but also showcase it for the world to appreciate. I would urge the film industry, the government, patrons of the arts, and the public to support us in making this vision a reality. I'd like to wish the participants and the faculty a wonderful week of learning and teaching on how to save film. But before I leave, may I just ask you to consider this. We in India are the largest filmmaking nation in the world. Over 2,000 films are made each year, collectively, over diverse languages in this country. It would be a sacrilege if we failed to document and preserve this immense cultural heritage for today's generation and the generations that shall come after us. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
When we started Film Heritage Foundation in 2014, it was in a reaction to the fact that we had lost a colossal amount of its film heritage. We were very fortunate to find support both in India and international. Mr. Bachchan agreed to be an ambassador for our cause, and our board of advisors comprised some of the most eminent names from India and international cinema. Most of our silent films have vanished, including Bhishma Pratigya, the first Telugu film, and by 1950, we had lost nearly 60 to 70% of our films, including H.M. Reddy's Bhakta Prahlad, the first Telugu talkie. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. We don't even have to go back so far back as that. Mr. Maniapnam's, whose archive we hold, he can tell you that many of his films, he's lost the negative. We are still trying to find the negatives. But what was interesting was that when Gulzar Sahib was given Dasa Phalke Award, they wanted to screen marches. And it was so difficult to find not only the negative, but print of marches. And marches is just now. Same thing happened to Mansoor Ali Khan. Mansoor wanted to celebrate his 25th anniversary with Qayamat Se Qayamat Tak. And Kiran Rao and Amir called me up and they said, listen, we've got a DVD. But he said, I never made the film on a DVD. I made it on celluloid. I want to see my 25th anniversary on a celluloid film. And what does he find? Showing it to all his friends. You know, they had shot it earlier with Amol Gupte as the hero, and Amir was the assistant, and then Amir became the actor. And they were seeing it on a bad quality YouTube DVDs. But all is not lost. Film can be saved when the situation looks dire straits. And this is what happened with the last surviving reel of the first Konkani film, Mogacho Ando, which was made in 1950. This was brought to us in 2015 by a filmmaker friend of mine, stuck, warped, fragile, and it was our thanks to our friends in Bologna, Mariana and Norah were sitting there, that their lab, the Lamage Virtuato lab in Bologna, we were able to treat this through different processes and look at the result of that film. We were able to scan them, they were able to scan them, and the next image will show you after the scanning process. Look at this image. We were able to save that film. And I'll tell you a very interesting story. I took this film to the actress of the film, and she called her son, who was also about 60 years old, and she says, now you believe I acted in a film. So, and we're not talking just about celluloid. We're not talking about hard drives. We're not talking about DVDs and YouTubes. They're not preservation mediums, sir. The preservation of digital film presents its own challenges, and it's a constant battle against the march of technology and obsolescence. The Ks are increasing day by day, and its sheer volume of data, which is why the digital preservation and data management are a major focus of our workshop. 5 years ago, film preservation was not even a blip on the horizon. We had no trained archivist, and to take up the challenge of saving our films, we began with our first film preservation workshop in Mumbai in 2015. Then we went to Pune. We did the next workshop in Chennai and Kolkata before coming to Hyderabad. Over these years, the workshop has grown in numbers, in numbers, scope, and reach, and is recognized today as one of the best workshops in the world. That's what my friend Christophe Dupin says of FIAF. I have to believe him. This year, we have 77 participants from India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bangladesh, and wonderfully from Afghanistan. Total number of participants we have trained over these 5 years has been 270. We have changed and expanded our curriculum every year, and this year our course covers every aspect of film preservation, including film identification, treatment. These are some of the images which you can see is what we do. Digital preservation, restoration, data management, photographic conservation. We have even shipped the latest ARRI scanner from Munich for practical classes. Many of you are here with great heritage, sir, and we'll be very happy for you to come across and meet the ARRI scanners for any of the materials you want to do. I know Mr. Nagarjuna has wanted to do a few classes, and I would request members of the film industry to really participate. It'll be an eye-opener. But now I'd like to show you glimpses of how we have set up in Annapurna Studios, thanks to the great hospitality of all our friends from Annapurna Studio. We have taken the studio and we have created different classes. This is the film repair and the scanning classes, so it inspires you to come here to work on this. We have kept the images of the golden period of Telugu cinema alive there. But while Film Heritage Foundation is very proud of its annual film preservation workshop that have been created a movement for film preservation, not just in India, but in the subcontinent, last year we conducted the 3-day event called the Reframing of the Future of Film with the renowned Hollywood filmmaker Christopher Nolan and celebrated visual artist Tacita Dean, which was devoted to the topic of the importance of celluloid as a shooting preservation medium in digital age. And we requested every member of the film industry to take part in this, and we had a great dialogue of how we could continue to show films in different mediums of celluloid. Film Heritage before I talk about Film Heritage Foundation, we are very proud that the support of our international friends like Christopher Nolan, Alexander Payne, Andy McDowell, and most importantly, Martin Scorsese, who's been a great, great support over the years to us. And I would like to show a video which he has recorded specifically for this workshop.
The language of cinema is universal. So in a time of great divisions, conflicts, it's really crucial to preserve and share our cultural patrimonies and to ensure that this universal language will speak to future generations around the world. The Film Preservation and Restoration School India is a 7-day course devoted to learning the technology, the ethics, and the practices of preserving and restoring film. And it's a unique opportunity to meet with leading experts in the field, attend practical hands-on restoration workshops, presentations, screenings of restored films. The school is organized by the Film Heritage Foundation in association with the Film Foundation World Cinema Project, Cineteca di Bologna, Immagini Ritrovata, and FIAF.
Thank you. Yep. Film Heritage Foundation has a growing collection of film, currently at about 5,000 film cans on 35, 16, Super 8, and 8mm. Our collections include important historical footage, rare home movies of the pre-independence era. We also maintain the films of leading film personalities, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, Shyam Benegal, Mr. Maniratnam, Vishal Bhardwaj, Farhan and Zoya Akhtar, Kumar Shani, Govindanani, Buddhadev Dasgupta, and many, many filmmakers from all over India. The foundation has a rapidly growing non-filmic material of some of the greatest filmmakers or actors, including Pran Saab, Raj Kapoor, G. Arvindan, Saeed Mirza, and many, many important filmmakers. As Mr. Bachchan mentioned, we are now ready to begin our work on our vision to build the country's first center of moving image. It is unimaginable the world's largest film industry does not have a single institution devoted to the art of moving image. And we are going to ensure that this is going to change. Today, sir, we are in the presence of some of the most influential people from the film industry. I would like to take this opportunity to appeal to you to make preservation of one of the most richest and the most diverse audiovisual heritage in the world a priority, so that the films, which are a reflection of ourselves and times we live in, will not be forgotten in the years to come. Can I now request our distinguished guests to come up and launch the catalogue of the workshop? Dr. T. Subramania Reddy ji, Shyam Benegal ji, Chiranjeevi sir, Mr. Nagarjuna, you have to come, Amla ji, Alwa ji, Raghunath ji. It's just the launching of the catalogue. Suresh Babu ji, Shobhu, please come. David Walsh, please come, and we can launch the catalogue of the work.
I represent FIAF, the International Federation of Film Archives. I only have a very brief message, actually. Film heritage right across the globe has reached a critical point as the films turn to dust and the videotapes become unplayable. And we face a future where film heritage is dying away. Now, we in the International Federation of Film Archives, along with the Film Heritage Foundation, our friends, can and do our best to make people aware of this escalating crisis. We can offer assistance and training in the steps needed to save film. But only you can decide if you think it's worth saving your film heritage. And actually, much of the film heritage in this region has already gone. So, and if you decide it's not worth saving your film heritage, then all you have to do is nothing, because the films will happily destroy themselves over the next few years without any help from anybody. So my message is simple but stark. Once it's gone forever. So if you do feel it's worth saving your film heritage, you need to act now and get serious about it. Sorry, that's not a very cheerful message for the opening ceremony. My job is to spread gloom and despondency, but realistically, this is the situation we find ourselves in, and it's time that we really got a grip of this. Thank you.
Can I ask Deepika Sorabji, Head of Arts and Culture, Tata Trust, to come up and speak a few lines for all the support? Yeah.
At dinner 4 days ago, Shivendra asked if we knew how many languages features in India were currently made in. Barring one American at the table, Rob, who's sitting there, most of us were Indians, and all of us didn't know the answer. The answer, Shivendra revealed, is 37. Now this says a lot about our country, that we make many films, we make them in many languages, and while we may have a national language, Hindi, and a de facto unifying language, English, each one of us is proud of our regional roots. As any Indian, whoever he is, when asked where he is from, he will naturally and apolitically and very instinctively tell you where his native place, quote, unquote, is, or what his, quote, mother tongue, unquote, is, or even though if he now resides in a city far away from that native place. And more than any art form, it is cinema that takes us back to these roots wherever we are. Our cinematic wealth in telling stories in these many regional languages makes us a very special country. 4 days ago, at the Qutub Shahi Heritage Park here in Hyderabad, where the Tata Trust supports the conservation of 10 major monuments being carried out by the Aga Khan Trust for Culture, a restored classic, Ritvik Kathak's Meghe Dakha Tara, was screened. We were asked by many why a Bengali film and not a Telugu film was being screened. For many reasons. There is no Telugu film restored to the high standards it deserves. Aesthetically, the restoration of Meghe Dakha Tara renders Dinesh Gupta's cinematography stunningly alive, and further, a story, though 60 years old, dealing with issues of displacement, migration, and loss, has contemporary resonances. This is why preserving our cinematic history is so important. Beyond the historical bind as an art form, cinema is contemporary, and what we make today is our heritage tomorrow. The Tata Trust Arts and Culture Portfolio's work in conservation supports built heritage, art conservation, and film preservation, each distinct and with its own problems. Photography is a new medium, as you know, film even newer, barely a century old, compared to our monuments and objects. Unlike stone or paper or textile or metal, photography and film are chemical-based and have a fragility that will not survive centuries if not looked after. Film preservation is a nascent area with a handful of conservators existing currently. Further, it is compounded by a newer medium within the art form. Emerging on the scene in the late 20th century, this digital era has eclipsed the erstwhile photochemical that dominated the last century. This rapidity in replacing a medium within the art form is unprecedented and took all by surprise, largely due to the ease of capture and exhibition and its greater affordability and accessibility. It has caused a crisis, that of almost wiping out an existing medium, film, overnight. This is unknown in any other art form. Yet we know how film behaves and have understood how to preserve it. No stable digital conservation method is yet to have emerged that lives beyond a few years. A filmmaker who wants to preserve his creation as an art form for his grandchildren, or for his grandchildren to monetize it, must remember that currently, while digital has made filmmaking easier, it would be wise to preserve on celluloid even today. This is why building awareness, as Film Heritage Foundation has done through the 5 workshops they have held, of which Tata Trust has supported fellowships and infrastructure in the last 3 at Chennai, Kolkata, and here in Hyderabad, is so important. It is important to us that these regional thriving industries were chosen and made aware of the challenges that exist both in preserving film and digital mediums, and our fellowships included not only individuals, but more importantly, the custodians of state archives. It is an appeal, therefore, to state governments to come forward and assist in preserving the unique identities of their states, the many languages that exist within in which films are made, in support of conservation training and maintaining archives to the standards that Film Heritage Foundation's workshops have set. We hope that these workshops are concreted in an annual course in the future, one that will produce trained conservators in this passionate, cinema-loving country of ours. And this can only be done collectively, with the support of state governments, individual patrons, and the film community, recognizing the urgency of support needed now and not later. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepika. Can I ask Bhavna Saluja of Adobe, who supported us on this workshop, to come and say a few words?
First of all, a very warm welcome to everyone here. And I would like to offer our sincere congratulations to Film Heritage Foundation and International Federation of Film Archives for this wonderful initiative of preserving our priceless film heritage. The ability to revive and relive the monumental history of Indian cinema today and for years to come is a noble cause. Very dear to us, which led us to collaborate with the foundation. In my opinion, I think we're living in great times. We are living in a golden age of creativity. Storytelling has never been so easy or relatable, thanks to our most primitive desire to communicate and the power of the technology that we have with us today. I would say it doesn't matter whether you're a student, a designer, or a filmmaker, or a business owner, creativity is the most fundamental skill. In our opinion, as Adobe, we feel that most amazing things can happen at the intersection of technology and imagination. Films are an integral part of our lives. They connect us through pragmatic stories that transcend time, place, and culture. Great filmmaking can unite us in ways that no other media can do. At Adobe, we are empowering filmmakers across the spectrum. We are committed to the cause. Just to share a few stories, the recently released movie Terminator, Dark Fate, was produced with Adobe's Creative Cloud portfolio. We're working with the leading Hollywood studios on how to, improvise or encourage creative storytelling. To talk about some Indian stories, The Sky is Pink, a beautiful, bittersweet epic directed by Sonali Bose, is another such example, which is completely redefining how the films are made in the country. So we are really committed to the cause that the foundation supports to ensure the profound works of the filmmakers are preserved and they remain cherished and relevant for the future generations. We feel it's a privilege to be part of the work that you do. You have a vision, you dream big. So I think we would really look forward to nurturing our association further. And I would personally look forward to meeting some of you during the workshops over the next week or so, because we really believe in instilling and propelling creativity in every possible way at every corner. Thank you so much.
Can I now request Dr. Saab, Dr. T. Subramanian Reddy ji, to come up and speak a few words?
Distinguished guests, friends. It really is amazing and to know that the Film Heritage Foundation, they're conducting their fifth preservation and reservation workshop. See, in life, human life, culture, heritage are the most important in life. See, if you go back even 2,000 years back, 3,000 years back, when you see how the heritage, how the ancient culture was there, we feel thrilled. The film is the God's gifted. How? In the film, God gifts one person to act profound way. One person is given to direct, one to sing, one give music direction. So one cannot be given everything normally, exceptional cases. So all these things are brought into the celluloid and billions of people all over the world enjoy. Perhaps the best entertainment in human life is the film, because God's gifted all talents are brought in one place and you are made to enjoy for 2-3 hours. Perhaps, simple example, I am a very spiritual man. I have become spiritual because of the film. 55 years back, when I saw a film where Mr. N.T. Ramarao, a great star, was acting in a film like a big saint and praying to Lord Shiva, I was inspired. I learnt. With his tapas means with his meditation to Lord Shiva, divine power, you could achieve miracles. So I thought as a boy, why not I also follow it up and achieve something in life? So perhaps what we are, I owe it, what sadhana, what we do. This is the power of the film. So therefore, in the film's heritage, great artists, great technicians, great makers, 60, 70, 80 years back, they come and go, but their contribution, the films they made always live in the hearts of the people. So today, this is the reason perhaps a versatile personality like Mr. Amitabh Bachchan has come forward and be associated and he's been inspiring everybody. And today also, I am very happy. We have in our mega star, Mr. Chiranjeevi, another star, Nagarjuna, and another star, Rajmouli, and all distinguished Mr. Raghavendra Rao, all Aravind Suresh, Amala, all distinguished people. Shyam Benegal is a great stalwart. Everybody is here, and I'm surprised to see people from other country also, other countries. So this is the fabulous, where I'm so happy to be associated for this. And Mr. Sivendra Singh, I must congratulate, give a big hand for Mr. Sivendra Singh for his organizing this wonderful function. So, Film Heritage Foundation, I must say, is a hebeb to all.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, yes, of course.
I am 76 plus 1, but still I am strong, young. Only knee problem, therefore somebody wants support.
Can I ask Suresh Babuji to please come on and say a few words? We've been having constant dialogues about his films.
Everyone. When David spoke in the beginning and he said the stark reality that if we don't care for our film is gone. Now, all of us are producers. We've made a lot of films. Many of my friends here have made a lot of films. If we fundamentally ask the question, why are we not able to preserve our films? We come with great passion to make movies. We make the movie. We might make money sometimes and we lose some money sometimes, because we did not have proper technology, proper knowledge. We left all our work to be done by the labs, who also did a great job, but they were also not financially rewarded always. They are not stored properly in those labs. People don't pay the basic charges for the film negative that needs to be stored. So they don't put more money. Many of our negatives were lost when we transferred from black and white to color, from one lab to the other lab. And in this, lot of material has got, because in our own 150 films, I've seen that's where we've lost a lot. Now, if we need to get it back, we know that most films are going to fail. Only 90% are definitely going to not make money. Probably only 10% will make money. And even in the 10% of the producers who have made money, if you ask them to put some money out for this foundation, they think 10 times, why should we put money for this foundation? Because I'm not going to make any money back on this film again. So unless we solve that fundamental problem of us realizing that we want this material to be stored, and if we have some kind of plan for that, while I was sitting here, I was just thinking, just like how they have, that you can't sell, that any writer or music director, he gets some royalty out of perpetuity for the material he's done. If a producer makes a film, if the government can do something to see that some small percentage of royalty is forever fixed to only see that all this history is stored, probably there could be something that happens. We don't need to give money to the producer, because somebody eventually owns that. The producer doesn't own it after a period of time. He's selling off his negative rights to some other vendors. If you find some mechanism of seeing that some money can come out of each film into a large fund, and that's when probably all these things will be stored. Otherwise, we come here today, and tomorrow if Shivendra gives me a small bill, all my films will go in. But if he gives a large bill, I'll think twice. I only will save my better films. I won't save my poorer films. So we need to find a proper solution to see that we are always going to store all our material. And thank you all for coming and teach, all the conservators who are going to now help and train us and teach us. It'll be great if some of them really put them into practice and see what happens. Thank you all very much. This is a great initiative, Shivendra.
Thank you, sir. Amlaji, can I ask you, host?
Distinguished guests, on behalf of Annapurna College of Film and Media and Annapurna Studios, we are deeply honored to be co-hosting this wonderful event. Thank you, Shivendra, for giving us this opportunity. Thank you, Film Heritage Foundation and their wonderful team for the fabulous effort. A warm welcome to all the faculty and the delegates and the overseas and David Walsh and all the wonderful guests who've come. I hope this city is a wonderful experience for you. You've come at the right time. We're seated on rocks of the Deccan Plateau that are from 2 to 6 million years old. The newest state in the country, Telangana, with the hottest, spiciest food, which I hope you enjoy. We have tears and celebrations, and I hope you can appreciate them all. On behalf of my late father-in-law, he's leaping into the air to welcome you all with his enthusiasm for cinema. I wish this workshop all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, Amlaji. Can I now request Shialu Arvindji, sir?
Good evening, everyone. I had an opportunity to interact with Shivendraji before a few years, and I know about this foundation. And this time we are all fortunate to have this kind of a foundation to make our films to preserve for long. Rather than giving a longer speech, I would like to make it very brief, that I make it very personal and very subjective of experience. Due to some fire accident, more photographs at my place have been destroyed, and finally we could save one photograph half burnt of my grandfather and grandmother. It was so precious, there is no other photograph. I can't show my children how my grandfather, grandmother looks alike if I had not saved that. But the half-burnt photograph I took to Chennai VG Pannidas during that time and made it a better photograph, which still I keep it. And once a year we make some puja, bring it, and all the members of the family see it. Please transfer this experience to films. We claim that we made such great films, but they're not there. They can't be seen. This particular message is for the new gen youngsters, how they should take the responsibility of saving the films along with us with such a personal feeling and experience. Thank you very much.
Jayesh, it's your turn, sir. Without you, this workshop, we would not been able to do it. Thank you so much for coming. And speaking of film.
Respected dignitaries, invitees, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, my apologies for showing up late, but nevertheless, I'm very happy that we are launching this very important and very valuable workshop today. I still remember about 8-9 months ago, Shivendraji had met us and shared this idea with us, and it instantly appealed to us. We felt that this is something which is worth doing, and not just doing it as a standalone event, to do it in a longer term with some sustainable kind of results. And as I said, the government was very keen to have this program here. Our Minister Honorable K.T. Ramarao was supposed to be here, but he has got caught up with something else, not in Hyderabad. But nevertheless, he conveys his regards and best wishes. As all the eminent filmmakers, film artists have spoken, it is very important because making films is like a relay race. One generation makes a particular kind of films. It is passed on to the next generation and the next generation, and obviously while trends change, preferences change, but the essential element of filmmaking, particularly Indian style of filmmaking or the regional style of filmmaking, that always remains. And the more we cherish it, the more we learn from it, the richer our ways of making films in the future will be. But obviously, if you have to cherish anything, we need to have it accessible at all times. And therefore, what the foundation is doing is something of tremendous value. I'm very glad that Adobe and so many other partners are supporting it, because while we have done a little bit, it is because of all you sponsors and patrons that this workshop has become a reality. And I too welcome all the overseas participants who I'm sure will benefit a lot from the technologies and the techniques that they will pick up here, and they will go on to contribute to preservation of film heritage in their own countries. And we would like, as Suresh Babu Garu and others mentioned, while the workshop is great in the sense that knowledge is now available to our own technicians, but what next after that? Because as many of us know this, the body of work in Telugu cinema is huge. In fact, such eminent people are present, but I don't know even if they know this or not. But in the last 20 years, we are close to 2020 now, in the last 20 years, there have been 3 calendar years in which more Telugu movies have been made as compared to Hindi movies also. So it's a substantial body of work, right from early 1930s, 1940s onward. So if we have to really sustain this work, what do you do? So the idea which Suresh Garu shared is something worth considering, creating a small corpus. And Shivendraji was telling me that in Bombay, they have set up a full-fledged an archive. So with the help of the industry, we'll be very willing to become a part of that as well. In fact, there are many things which the government is doing now. Just as an example, while this is not a apple-to-apple example, but I can share this with you because many of us use it. So the Wikipedia, for example, has a very, very meager Telugu content. So the government is now creating a huge, as rich as, maybe not English, but as rich as Hindi or any other international languages, Telugu Wikipedia. And we are putting our entire money, effort, time, resources for that. So we'll be very happy if the idea of developing an archive, creating a corpus, bringing more professionals, if that takes shape with the help of the industry, we'll be very happy to become a part of it. And once again, my gratitude to Shivendraji for putting this event together. And let us hope that the next 7 days are very useful, very productive for everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Every year, Film Heritage Foundation since 2015 has been presenting awards for its outstanding and lifetime achievement in film preservation to those who have devoted their lives to preserving the visual history of our world and for their excellence in their areas of expertise. We strongly believe that there are unsung heroes that we must celebrate. Dr. Norah Kennedy. This year, Film Heritage Foundation would like to present the Outstanding Achievement Award to Dr. Norah Kennedy, Sherman Fairchild Conservator in charge of the Department of Photographic Conservation, the Metropolitan Museum, the Met, as we call it, of New York. Can I request Shri Chiranjeevi ji and Shyam Benegal Sahab to come up on the stage?
I promise to be brief. I'm really so very honored to receive this award, and I'm a little embarrassed because this is the first workshop that I've participated in, but I'll try to live up to this honor. And I just want to say how very pleased and proud I am to be a part of this incredible effort, to see the organization that has gone into creating this event, the fifth one, the number of participants, not only from India, from neighboring countries that are coming, and I'll do my very best to contribute, even in a small way, to this wonderful wave of energy and enthusiasm and passion and action that this workshop is. It's making such a huge difference in the world. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We are truly privileged to have Dr. Ray Edmondson, who's been described as being the moving spirit behind the establishment of the National Film and Sound Archive Australia. As part of our faculty this year, Film Heritage Foundation would like to present the Lifetime Achievement Award to Dr. Ray Edmondson for his pioneering work in preserving national audiovisual heritage and for a lifetime dedicated to championing the cause of preservation of moving image through his seminal writings, setting global standards and guidelines for archiving, inspirational teaching, and for his ceaseless advocacy to ensure the survival of the film patrimonies around the world. Thank you, sir. Can I request Nagarjuna ji and Rajamouli ji to both come and honor Dr. Ray Edmondson.
would just say briefly, thank you for this award. It was a bit of a shock to hear about it. I just say that it's such a thrill to stand in an auditorium full of people who are enthused about film preservation and who are determined to do something about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Hello. Andarki namaskaram andi. Good evening, everyone. Why we are not preserving our films is basically we are not aware in the first place that we have to preserve our films. We thought when we make our films and the film is the negative is in the lab, we think that it is there forever. And when suddenly the digitalization came and everything was changing into digital, our films were scanned and we thought, yes, now it is digitalized and it's going to be there forever. We never thought that there are so many complications in the digital world moving forward with so many version changes and format changes. Everything is changing so fast that what we digitized few years back is absolutely useless or very low quality just within few years. In about 2015 or something, Shivendra got in touch with me and he said they want to preserve Magadhira, and I said, wait, no, we already digitalized it. But he said, no, that is, then he explained me that if you just look at the Magadhira digital copy, which was done about 5 years back, it looks so low quality, almost like a VCD, not even a DVD. And we started, okay, let's preserve it further, and we started searching for it. 2009 Magadhira was made. In 2015, we searched for it and we couldn't find the negative. Just within 6 years, it disappeared. We don't know what happened. Maybe the lab changes or whatever. It was not found, and with much difficulty, they could find one print of Magadhira, which was, with a lot of difficulty, was preserved. So I didn't even know that so many complications were there. So then me and Shobugar, we thought, no, we have to preserve our films. I can't say for the rest of the world what's happening or whatever, I don't know. But for our films, we are really going to put efforts and save our films. Whichever format we make, of course, now everything is digital, but we really need to look into it, to see how we preserve our films. We buy a piece of land, we buy a piece of property. The documents are very carefully done. The stamp papers are really preserved in a good locker or a bank locker. If you do that for property, physical property, just imagine what we have to do for our intellectual property. Thank you, and hope this will really throw a light on how to preserve our films. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. And we couldn't find the Telugu, so we couldn't find the Telugu print. We finally found the Tamil print of Magadhira, which we had to send and preserve. So unfortunately, the Telugu was all lost. It was really, really sad. And so Gajni is lying somewhere. I saw the negative. Can I request you, can I please preserve it? I saw it lying in somewhere, so I'll tell you about it, sir. Can I request now someone who's been supporting us, and without him, we would not been able to come to Annapurna. Thank you so much. Your support, and I think he's managed to get everybody's support, your support, and he's actually becoming a student in this workshop. Yes. Am I right? Thank you very much, sir. Yeah.
Thank you, Shivendra. Let me welcome everybody, especially the friends from the international community, to Hyderabad, the spicy land, like Amla says. We at Annapurna Studios are really proud and privileged to be associated with the Film Heritage Foundation, and thank you, Shivendra, for choosing us. Let me tell you a little bit of myself and my family. My father, right here, jumping in joy. We are actors for the last 83 years, 3 generations of actors. My father, myself, and my children also. And probably we have almost touching about 400 films all put together. And like David Walsh has said, most of them are gone. And that's very sad. I'm embarrassed to say that. We produce so many of these films. I think of the 400, probably 50. And We thought of making films, but we never thought of preserving them. And like Rajamouli had said, we buy property and keep the documents inside safe. And I myself personally, one of my favorite films is Mani Ratnam's Gitanjali, and then there was another film called Shiva. Recently I looked for the print of negative or a print of Gitanjali. It's not there. I could just find a VCD and maybe a DVD. I don't know. I have to look for it. And in the same way, Shiva also, we found a digital copy somewhere and we could only restore it up to 2K. We couldn't even take it up to 4K. And the negative is gone. And my niece Supriya says there's 17 of our negatives in National Film Archive. Yeah, that's right. National Film Archive. And I don't know what condition those negatives are. So I'm feeling very embarrassed to say all of this, and very proud to say we make so many films, but very embarrassed to say that we didn't even think of preserving them. And I'm looking forward for these workshops, and thank you, Shivendra. You made Annapurna Studios so beautiful, so nostalgic. Whenever I walk there now, it's really nice. I hope all of you enjoy the premises and the classrooms and enjoy the workshop, and looking forward to seeing you all there. And thank you all. And Jayesh, thank you for being proactive and taking the initiative. And I hope you do. The Telangana government does set up something for us, and we'd be very happy about that. And thank you all, and welcome to Hyderabad again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for those wonderful words. Now can I request the mega star?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to be part of this wonderful occasion. And thank you, Ms. Shivendra, that you have given me a wonderful opportunity to be part of this beautiful thing. And here I would like to share one incident recently happened to me. A couple of years back, when I entered 60, that time we had a party. And everybody, they're giving different gifts. So one of the gifts is the rarest gift. That is my producers. One of the producers have given me the rights of a film named Kaidi, which was shot in 1983. The film which has given me star status and brought me a lot of millions of fans. So that film negative rights he gifted me. I'm so happy, and I'm very joy. Then next day I sent my man to particular labs. Then I came to know the negative was not existing. I was so sad, because it's not any other thing. It's emotionally I connected with that film. So when I have the rights, I felt it's my privilege. But where I didn't have the film, at least I'm trying to get the film, at least positive. I'm trying still. But meanwhile, very recent couple of months back, I happened to meet Shivendra Singh in my house, and he was talking about the heritage and restoring and preservation of the films. Then I want to share with him. Then he said, please come and extend your support so that we can try to restore it somehow or other. I'm really, that time only I came to know the importance of this foundation, Heritage Foundation. It's very much needed. When you think of our 7 wonders, they're evidently seen. So we can tell to our people, our generations, next generations, what are the engineering marvels of our ancient people. So that's how we can brought our culture and our greatness and about our previous seniors or any people. So that's how even in the films also, if you take, there's a representing culture, heritage, and everything, how people used to live in those olden days like that. And in the film industry, if you think of Indian film industry, there are Prithviraj Kapoor. So how many of latest generation actors, film personalities knows about Prithviraj Kapoor? They are such a legendary people, like Raj Kapoor. And in our Telugu, Chittoor Nagayya garu, K.V. Reddy, the great legendary director L.V. Prasad garu, and other legendary actors like A.N.R., NTR. And these people, definitely we have to take what great heritage, these people are a treasure. We have to take them to the future generations. So to take them into the future, the only possibility is through negatives, through our old films. So we have to restore them, we have to preserve them, and take it to the future generations. I'm very much impressed, and really whatever way Mr. Shivendra Singh asked me to do, I want to be part of this foundation. I want to extend all my cooperation, and whatever possible way, I definitely am ready to do that. And thank you for giving me this opportunity. So nice of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. The Government of Telangana would like to extend a warm welcome to our international faculty with a token of appreciation. Could I request Sri Dr. Sututi Subramanian Reddy ji and Jayesh Ranjan ji, the minister couldn't be there, so they will be extending it to our
absolutely delighted to be here at this function of Film Heritage Foundation, which is now, what, 5 years old?
5 years, yeah.
Yes. It's incredible because, you know, when you think of it, Indian cinema, of course, starts in 1896. Just 3 years, the first Indian film was made, just 3 years after it was invented. And we've had this very long history of making films in this country. But unfortunately, for all that, and although, you know, we've had this reputation of being the second largest film producing country in the world, etc., what do we have to show? We don't have very much to show. And strangely, the reason for that is because we simply didn't know how to preserve our films. And it's just one of those, you know, it's so tragic when I think of it, that it's only when the National Film Archives was created, and that too because of the initiative of one individual, and he put together, with no help from anybody, no help, I mean, the government simply talked about it, but did nothing, in fact. And yet, we did have a National Film Archive, which continued with, you know, with very primitive facilities in a kind of space that was a kind of warehouse where prints were kept. And then, of course, after that, I think it's what Shivendra has done. We suddenly everybody became very conscious that it was so important. Because, see, why was it important? Simply because cinema, strangely, captures, records events in its own time. It's kind of preserving a particular moment in history in its own time. You know, history preserved in that way is not something that you are recording something about the past. It's happening in the present. So what you see is the present of a particular time. And therefore, the culture of that time comes through in that film. And that, I think, to me, is film as its best. It doesn't matter. Maybe it's not of great aesthetic quality. But the fact is that when you see a film made in 1915, you get to see a certain kind of cultural moment that is very, very of its own time. It's not something that you thought of. It's in the present. And every time you film something, it's a moment of the present that's kept forever. And I think to preserve that is really absolutely wonderful. And it's something that is extraordinary, and we need to continue with that process. And that's what I think what Shivendra is doing is quite extraordinary, because nobody, it's very difficult to convince people to, meaning particularly I think the powers that be, because you see, he's doing it on his own initiative with very little help from anybody. And we really need not just the governments at the center, but also the state governments in each state of our country to put together, because, we make films in more languages than any other country in the world. And it seems so tragic that we haven't been able to put it all together, because we make films in, so many different languages. We have not just, it was mentioned that 37 languages. Well, actually, we have more than 850 languages, but they don't necessarily have scripts. So we are talking about India. India is like a microcosm of the entire world. And in this, and therefore, there's not just history, culture, everything. And all that, poof, nothing. Because when you don't have it recorded on cinema, it's people writing about it. It's not the same thing. People writing about it is fine. You're thinking about something. You're contemplating on something that happened in the past. But we are talking about keeping the present forever. And I think that is what cinema does, and and if we do not preserve that, then the present will be lost forever. Thank you very much.
I would just like to say, sir, can you just hold back? Mr. Jayesh Ranjan wants to honor Mr. Sherman. Sir, they want to honor you, sir. Is there a shawl? Yeah. I would like to, as we are ending, it's exactly 1 hour what I promised everybody, right? Sir, I promised 1 hour to you. I normally finish also in 1 hour, so I'd like to thank everybody. I want to thank all our wonderful friends. Jeffrey from the New York Times. Jeffrey, thank you for coming. I also want to thank Comi from the French press and the BBC who are here, and all our media friends. Shalini and Swapna, you came late. I said wonderful words about you, but thank you for coming and supporting us for this wonderful vision. I want to thank all of you for making this wonderful evening very important, but I think what we need to go back to is how we're going to take this mission ahead, is what we need to think. I want to thank Showboat. Is Sandeep Sinha here? Sandeep, I know your mother who passed away recently. We sincere condolences. I know she wanted to be here this evening. I would dedicate this whole week to her. I know she was choosing the saris and beautiful. She's with us, and we're going to remember her. But thank you, Shobot, for doing such a wonderful job at Annapurna. And lastly, and all, my Film Heritage Foundation team. Without you, Dinesh, Jayant, Megha, Murchana, Priyanka, Praveen, Gautami, all of you made this very special, but now it's time for us to really work hard, as Rameshji would say it. So we have to work very hard to go in and actually save our India's heritage. Thank you all for coming. Thank you very much, and good night. Thank you, and good night. Yeah.
మన తర్వాత మన పిల్లల్ని చూసుకోవడానికి వీళ్ళకొక అన్నయ్య కావాలండి. అచ్చం మీ పోలికలతో వీళ్ళకొక అన్నయ్యని కందామండి.
వీళ్ళు నా భార్యలు, వాళ్ళు నా తమ్ముళ్ళు.